Being here helps us to focus on what really matters.
It's one place we can all agree on.
Our experience here on Sunday touches our lives all week long.
Forum Christian Church, connecting, growing, living.
It's all about commitment, and when it comes to the environment, we're committed to making the world out there just as beautiful as we help you make the world in here. By using green practices and natural materials from renewable resources to operate our Carpet One Floor and Home stores, and offering a growing selection of flooring that meets our Green Select standards. When you purchase a product with a Green Select label, you'll know you've made a choice you can feel good about forever. Visit Carpet One Floor and Home today to learn more about Green Select, the earth-friendly choice.
I'm Cole.
And I'm Jason.
We build houses in mid-Missouri.
All kinds of houses.
With all kinds of floor plans.
And all kinds of budgets.
Because we believe you shouldn't have to wait.
For a house that makes you feel right at home.
You can have better living
right now.
We make dreams come true.
This is Building for Better Living.
Things are progressing really nicely here at John and Toby's custom home, and one of the things we're working on today is tile. The biggest thing with John and Toby's house is they have a basement underneath, so they have a wood subfloor. They've ran their floor trusses, they put plywood down, so concrete board is imperative to have when you're laying tile. The reason is, on a wood subfloor, it has give to it. So this concrete board makes it very stiff. You put a thin set down, you put the backer board down, you screw it in with the special backer board screws. You have a great foundation, it's solid, and the give is not there. Then on top of this backer board, they trial what is called thin set down on top of the backer board, and then they start to lay their tile. That way the tile has a less chance of cracking in the future, no matter what comes down the road, such as settlement, any type of movement. This concrete board is going to be nice and solid. That's where the guys are at today, and they're starting on the 18 by 18 tile, and they're doing a nice pattern called a brick pattern.
Which are the joints are staggered, 1/2 of the width across. Gives you a little, just breaks it up, adds a little bit of a detail with the same product. It looks a little fancier, I think.
There's several different ways to set up a tile job. One of the biggest things you want to do when you're laying tile is make sure that from the focal points of the home, the tile is laid in a way that's the most aesthetically pleasing to the eye. When you set it up appropriately for that, sometimes you'll encounter another problem in a different part of the room. Perfect example, air vent. There's going to be a trim piece that goes over this. The biggest problem is this air vent is right in the center of the tile. There's no way to cut that out right from the center of the tile. So what you end up doing is cutting a piece and then cut out a notch from this other piece to finish it all off correctly. You'll have a little bit of a grout joint here and here, but the table's going to be right here in this room. You're not going to see that from the living room or an entry point. It's all hidden back here and gives the tile the best chance to look good when you walk into the room, which is what you want. I'm going to let the guys get this laid. The reason we chose this 18 by 18 tile, one, it's porcelain tile. John and Toby also like the design of it, but porcelain tile is more durable, so we chose to go with that. We're laying it on the brick pattern because the kitchen and dining room area, or actually kitchen and eat-in kitchen area, is a real huge focal point for this house. There's almost 500 square feet of tile in this room, dining room alone, 18 by 18 tile. We want to make sure that this makes the whole house pop. When you walk in the front door, you're going to see this area of tile, and we wanted to set it apart from everywhere else in the house. The hardest part with a brick pattern is you have to make sure you get it laid out appropriately. You have to do quite a bit of measuring to make sure that cut pieces on the focal points are larger pieces, not minute, real small miniature pieces to where it looks kind of shoddy. When you do that, it makes everything set off real nice as you're walking into the room. Any smaller cuts can go behind cabinets, that sort of thing. So Ryan and Greg, they measured this room out appropriately, and they started with the backer board. They got a real good start there, and then they finished it up by pulling off walls popping chalk lines, making sure they started out square, and they also figured how they needed to start their cuts at the focal point and work their way towards the cabinets. Thin set is the most important part of the tile application. Although you don't see it once the tile is laid, it's actually what makes the tile look the best. The reason for that, the consistency of the mud. It has to be right. You can't have it too watery, you can't have it too dry. You want to make it to where when you set the tile down, you push the tile in place, but it doesn't go all the way down to the concrete board. It gives you some resistance. And this is just about perfect. It's almost getting to the point where it might be just a little bit too dry, but if we were to lay another set of tiles, we'd be right on. And basically you can see the consistency of it. It's kind of smeary, kind of pasty. And that's exactly how you want it on the thin set. And that's perfect right there. Set the tile, position it, get it to adhere real good, and you're in business. And that's exactly what we got here.
You don't want any air gaps under the tile. That's what causes tile to break or to come loose. If there isn't a solid bead, solid trowel of mortar underneath there, and you drop something and it's not mortar underneath there, that's where it'll break. Or if you step on one side and there's an air pocket, that's where it'll eventually work loose. If it's solid mortar under there, this tile will stay in there a long, long time without a problem.
Brought to you in part by Carpet One Floor and Home Columbia. Best brands, best service. The one store for your perfect floor. Forum Christian Church, intentionally connecting people to Jesus.
Steve's Pest Control. Now you have a friend in the pest control business.
And Withrow Electric. No job too small.